Assalamu alaikum everyone. The topic of this video is accounting for a partnership business, and in this video we are going to have a look at the theoretical aspects of a partnership business. So what is a partnership or a partnership business? This is basically a relationship between two or more than two people who carry out a business with the view of making profit. Now obviously the two, but the maximum number of partners, that actually varies from country to country. So for example, in Pakistan the maximum number of partners is 50, in UK it is 20. So it depends on a certain country that at the most how many partners can be there in a partnership business. These are the characteristics of a partnership business. Obviously it has unlimited liabilities. This means that for the liabilities of the business, all the partners will be responsible, and even if they have to sell their personal assets, they will have to do that in order to pay off the liabilities of the business, which is obviously not the case in a limited company, right? So in a sole trader or in a partnership business, the liabilities are unlimited. Another characteristic of a partnership business is that there has to be a written partnership agreement or a deed. So obviously you have to prepare an agreement before you start the business, because there can be conflicts later on. So in order to run the business smoothly, there has to be an agreement, which can also be called a deed. So there has to be a written partnership agreement between the partners. Now, what is in the partnership agreement? The partnership agreement is a written agreement which sets up the terms of the partnership, especially the financial arrangements between the partners. Right? So you have to write down all the financial arrangements between the partners in order to not have conflicts later on. The contents of the partnership agreement can vary from one partnership to another, so it obviously varies from one business to another what they put there in the partnership agreement. But a standard partnership agreement basically includes the following things. Number one, obviously the name of the business, the type of the business, the duration of the partnership, so all these things have to be there. Obviously the details of partners also have to be there. Their capital contribution has to be there. So for example, there are two partners and one is investing 100,000 and the other is investing 200,000, then obviously this has to be mentioned in the partnership business. The profit sharing ratios, how the profit is going to be distributed between the partners, that is also going to be mentioned in the agreement. So for example, they could be sharing profits and losses equally. They could also be sharing profits and losses in percentages. For example, one partner is getting, let's say, 75% of the profit and the other partner is getting 25% of the profit. So it depends what the profit sharing ratio is, and that has to be mentioned in the partnership agreement. Then you have interest on capital. Now this is something which might be new for you. Now interest on capital is the interest, a fixed percentage that you get on the amount of capital that you've invested in the business. So let's take an example. Let's say there are two partners, A and B, and let's say A has invested 500,000 in the business, whereas B has invested 700,000 in the business. So let's say the interest on capital is a fixed percentage and the business has decided, and it was written in the partnership agreement, that 10% will be paid as interest on capital to the partners. So in that case, A is going to get 10% of 500,000, which is obviously going to be 50,000, and B is going to get 10% of his capital, which is 700,000, which is going to be 70,000. So this is a fixed percentage which is paid to the partners from the profit that the business makes. So why do we pay the partners interest on capital? They are going to get the profit eventually, whatever is the amount of profit that the business made, that is going to be distributed to the partners only. Then why are we having interest on capital? This is there because sometimes there might be a difference between the investments of different partners, but they might end up sharing, deciding on sharing the profits and losses equally. So let's say in this example, let's assume that A and B were sharing profits and losses equally. So if the business had made a profit of, let's say 70,000, then 35,000 would go to A and 35,000 would also go to B. Now that won't make sense, and that will be not a good thing for partner B. Why? Because he has invested more money than partner A, but they are ending up getting the same amounts of profit. So that is why interest on capital was introduced. So before giving out any, giving out the profit distribution to the partners, interest on capital is paid to both the partners. Okay. Withdraws money from the business for personal use, so there can be a limit assigned to that. This is done to make sure that all the money that is invested by the partners in the business, it stays in the business. So for example, अगर मैंने business में 500,000 invest किए, so मैं ऐसा ना करूँ कि after 2 months I withdraw 450,000 and then obviously I just have 50,000 remaining in my business. And to discourage that, there is interest on drawings as well. So interest on drawings is a fixed percentage that is going to be paid by the partners to the business if they withdraw any money. So let's say the interest on drawings is fixed at 5%. So whatever drawings the partners make, for example, A makes drawings of 50,000 during the year, and let's say B makes drawings of 80,000 during the year, then A will have to pay 5% of 50,000 as interest to the business, and B will have to pay 5% of 80,000 as interest on his drawings to the business. So to discourage partners from withdrawing money from the business, we have interest on drawings. Then in the partnership agreement, you have arrangements in case of dissolution, death, or a retirement of a partner. So obviously, if one of the partners they decide to retire and decide to withdraw themselves from the partnership business, then what happens? Dissolution is when the partners decide to dissolute or finish off the partnership, or maybe if one of the partners die, what would be done in that case? So arrangement for that also has to be included in the agreement. Then arrangement for settling disputes also has to be there. So if there are any disputes between the partners, what are they going to do? Are they going to seek any help? That is also going to be there in your partnership agreement. These are advantages and disadvantages of a partnership business. So advantages include that there are more than one people. Obviously, compared to a sole trader, there are more than one people involved. So obviously, there is more capital involved. Since 2 or 3 or 4 people are bringing in money. It is also easier to get loans. Why? Because there are 3 or 4 people involved and there is more capital involved. So it becomes easier for the business to get loans either from the bank or from someone else. There is additional expertise, or you can say there are more ideas involved in the business since there is more than one person involved. Additional management time. So compared to one single person, if you have 3 or 4 partners, obviously 4 of them could manage separate things, or 4 of them could divide the timings of the business between themselves. So there is additional management time which can be given to the business, and your risk or your losses of the business, that is going to be shared between the partners. So that is also an advantage. Some of the disadvantages are, number one, obviously you will have to share your profits with your partners. So if you were a sole trader, obviously all the profit would be yours. but in this case, the profits are going to be shared. There is a possibility of dispute. Obviously, that is also a disadvantage. For a sole trader, he is the sole owner of the business and he doesn't have to listen to anyone, so there might not be disputes, but in the case of a partnership, there can be disputes. Third is loss of control. So, one partner could end up losing control over the decisions of the business if the other partners, decide anything against this one partner, right? So you could lose the control of your business. Okay, I just saw, please ignore this typo error. Okay guys, so this was basically an introduction to accounting for a partnership business. Now obviously, before learning the accounting for a partnership business, we need to know what a partnership business is. So this video was about that, introducing you to a partnership business. In the next video, I'm going to share the financial statements and the formats of the financial statements of a partnership business with you guys. Okay, till then, take good care. Allah Hafiz.